right, so Lodestone maintenance was last, and everything maintenance was last night. Patch 0.655 is here, and there's actually a lot to talk about, both about the patch and about other things that were announced last night on the Lodestone while it was out. Let's get right into it. So first off, we have the patch notes. Then we've got PvP stuff, news about getting the game cheap if you're looking to get into it, and then a new event that is coming up. I'm just going to wrap it up in here rather than do a separate video on it. That's just what I'm going to do because we don't have a whole lot of it. Well, we do have, we actually know everything, but you know, it doesn't deserve its own video. Anyway, patch 0.655, the last actual content update we're going to get for Endwalker. This is it. Nothing else is going to happen other than 5.67 and 5.68, which are both just going to be kind of bug fix patches. Going to be very minor. So this will probably be the last patch video I make for Endwalker. Let's get right into it. First things first, our final Endwalker MSQ quest. It is only, I don't want to actually talk too much about this. First off, I'm actually surprised they gave us just pretty much everything in these two pictures. Just okay, we're going to talk about everything. It's just 3 quests. That's it. Nothing else really. There's nothing big. It's just 3 quests. We have our new Manderville, our final Manderville for Endwalker. 2 quests as per usual. The new Manderville weapons. They don't tell us what the requirement is. I have no reason to believe it's anything but 1,500 uncapped tomestones. Maybe they threw us for a curveball and it's actually 2,000. I saw briefly some pictures of people already having them, so I got a feeling it's 1,500 that people were just done. But then again, enough time has passed. Like the no-lifers might have had enough time at 4 a.m. when this thing went up. 4 a.m. my time, by the way, to complete Manderville, rush to the weapon, dump all their tomes, get like 1,000 more. If it is 3,000, we don't know. But 2 quests there. It's gonna be your final step. I don't know actually if it's BIS or not. I do not know if it's going to match or exceed the Savage Weapon. We'll have to wait and see what it is. All right. The last episode of Tasaro's Grand Endeavor, another Island Sanctuary quest, which is kind of surprising. And then our Tribal Alliance quest. If you have completed all 3 of the tribal quests, and by all 3 I mean, like, you know, maxed out the max out the reputation on all 3 Endwalker tribals, you get this quest. I want to say there's a new emote in it based on what I saw in the first glancing through. So you've done those, right? Have you been a good boy and did all your Beast Tribe quests? Because I didn't. I'm way behind, both on the Eagle and on my alt. Whoops. New chapters to New Game Plus. Neat. New furnishings have been added, including this thing that I'm sure someone can find a good use for and make it look elegant and immaculate and have it really blend into some kind of design. And I'm sure will cause tons of drama, just like the f***ing chair. Anyway, this has also been added outdoor Magitech garage thing. Please tell me that's a Chocobo stable. Please tell me that's a Chocobo stable. Also, are those grapes? New Orchestrion rolls, no surprise. New prizes are available for MGP. New Triple Triad cards. We'll take a look at those later on. Players will now have a pop-up message when an island sanctuary construction or renovation is completed. This is only 4 patches too late. This should have been there like patch 2. What? Thank you, by the way, but holy cow, what kept you? Thalia is now in Wondrous Tales. New emotes have been added. That's probably our emote from doing the Beast Tribe Alliance, or Tribal Alliance, I should call it. I should stop calling it Beast Tribe. It's not Beast Tribe anymore. New battle systems. And by that, I mean this trial. I don't know where this is going to come up. I have no idea. But considering the fact it requires gentlemen at heart, I'm willing to bet it comes from Manderville. Somehow. Is there an extreme for it? There is not. It is normal only. Huh. Interesting. What does it require? Requires gentlemen at heart. Is that actually one of... Yep. All right, so it is part of Manderville. We know this trial now is part of Manderville. Okay. Drop rate for the links of Abyssal Grief, I believe that Zeramus has been increased, and Links of Fallen Shadow has been further increased. You can also now exchange it for totems. Oh, that's right. You can't get the Links of Abyssal Grief via totems right now, can you? We have a guy in our static. He has done Zeramus Extreme allegedly 100 times. And I think the only reason he can count that is because he has 200 of the totems. He has enough to get the mount, but the mount's not available yet. That's going to come in either the 6.56 or 6.57 or 6.58. Probably 6.57 if I had to guess. By the way, 6.57. You also notice here, because, and of course the new trial added trial roulettes and mental roulette. You'll also notice here that Savage has not been unlocked. This actually was a little bit of a debate whether we would get Savage unlocked in this patch or not. Historically, I didn't think it was going to happen because it didn't happen until 5.56 or 5.57 in Shadowbringers. But then the argument was used, well, that was during COVID, you know? And it's just like, yeah, there's just no reason to go ahead and delay something like that just because of COVID. That seems weird. That's just like unchecking a box. Right? And in fact, if you go further back in Stormblood, 4.56 was actually when they took 09 through 012S off lockouts as well. So we do have a history of it not being the being the 0.55. It is usually the next patch afterwards. I could not find an evidence of a 5.56, but you know, anyway. PvP. This one I wasn't sure what they're gonna do. I really wasn't. Because we knew there was gonna be some changes coming with the new PvP season. It turns out a lot was gonna happen. Purify will now grant resilience unconditionally. I believe this is the thing that makes you more resistant to take debuffs. So even if you use it early, you will always get that resistance, which is good stuff. Help reduce the amount of time you're going to be, going to be CC'd. Holy Sheltron, damage reduction increased from 15 to 20%. Riddle of Earth has had its duration reduced 10 to 8 seconds. So Paladin's been buffed, Monk's been nerfed. Gunka Mekyaku, area effect radius increased from 5 to 6 yalms. Which one is that? Let's actually take a look. Your senses have been offended. I had it open the whole time. All right, so let's actually take a look here at what that is. All right, Gongen Maku is deals unexpected damage to the potency of 2,000 to target and all targets in the yard. So it's just the fire breath bomb. You go, and then everyone in the area takes 4,000, and then another 4,000 every 3 seconds for 12 seconds. So 4 ticks. So it's 20,000 damage total over 12 seconds. Wait, brain. Yes, that's correct. That is actually correct. All right. That's what that one is. Reaper. Duration of enshroud has been increased from 15 to 20 seconds. Neat. Bard. This is the reason why I actually had FF14 running in the background. I don't know what any of these are. Silent Nocturne instead is recast time cast from 20 to 30 seconds. That's a huge nerf. All right, going from... That's 50% less times you're going to cast it. So, what is it? What is that? Let's take a look. Silent Nocturne silences the target. I don't know why I expected anything else. It also grants your repertoire, which turns something into something. Where's repertoire? It gives you pitch perfect. So it's also a damage nerf too, because it's gonna let you have pitch perfect less. That's another thing to consider too. Ephemeral Arrow has had potency reduced from 4,000 to 3,000. The Wardens, that word, recast time has been reduced from 30 to 25 seconds, and the barrier reduction has been reduced from 10 to 8 seconds. So you can do it more, but it lasts less. Interesting. Let's actually take a look at how much that affects everything. All right. So, Wardens. Ruse one okay, it's the Asuna to yourself. So you get a second purify. It happens less often, or it happens more often, but the amount of time that you're buried to block it will also be less. Also grants Warden's Grace. So actually, this helps even out the fact that you get repertoire from Silent Nocturne less. Because now you get repertoire here. Or you always did. I just didn't know because I don't play Bard. Grants Warden's Grace upon successfully removing or nullifying an affliction, reduces damage taken by 25% while increasing HP recovery. Keep in mind that Warden's Grace effect does not need to go off to gain repertoire. That's different entirely. Excuse me. Then Blast Arrow potency increased by 2,000. So some nerfs, some buffs. I think when all's said and done, Bard's actually in a better place. Which one is Ephemeral Arrow? Was that actually granted by repertoire? No, it's just there. Okay. Oh God, excuse me. I need to stop being tired. I literally only recently woke up too, so it's not helping anything. Honing Ovation, Von Dancer. Of course my phone would go off. Okay, that was fun. All right, Honing Ovation, attack and barrier potency grabbed by each stack of acclaim has been increased from basically out of 1,000 across the board. So, what even is this skill? I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure. So, Honing Ovation, where is it? Learn to attack the nearby enemies and erects a magic barrier around nearby party members. For each stack of acclaim. All right. Deal 6,000 damage max, and then I assume puts up a barrier of the exact same strength. How do you get stacks of acclaim? These are always the important questions you got to ask when looking at these sort of things. All right, Honing Dance gives it. All right, use Honing Dance. Every 3 seconds, you get a stack of acclaim, maximum of 4. Up to 6,000 potency for both. Okay. Now remember that 6,000 potency, that's basically just straight up. There's no modifiers to any of this in PvP. So it's going to be 6,000 damage and then 6,000 potency healed. Except in front lines where there are penalties added. So that is, I mean, it's an okay buff. Black Mage had their HP increased. Yoshi P has favorites. Anyway, Miracle in Nature. I'm pretty sure that is the. I don't even need to look this up. I'm like 99% certain Miracle of Nature is in fact the polymorph, the sheep spell that White Mage has, and it got nerfed. 15 seconds left to be turned into a freaking imp. Or whatever, or being useless. That's all that really matters. Now, front lines. This is where the big changes come. All right. This is where I actually have the bigger opinion. Adjustments to your rates. So remember how earlier I said that it's that damage and potency is just straight up unless other modifiers are. Here's where the other modifiers come in. So in front lines, your damage is cut in half, and you start slowly getting your full potency back as you attain more battle high. Whereas once you get to max, you have your full attack power back, except for these modifiers. Gunbreaker and Astrologian will go ahead and deal 5% less damage. Dragoon and Samurai will now deal 10% less damage. Dark Knight and Summoner were doing 10% less damage. Now they're down to 15% damage. And Dark Knight, Gunbreaker, and Summoner limit breaks now take 15 seconds longer to charge their limit break. I can't believe it took Dark Knight this long, because Dark Knight and their LB was insane in frontline, along with a few of their other abilities. Like this nerf to Dark Knight in front lines has been a long time coming. Long time coming. I'm not sure what Gunbreakers is. I know what Summoners is. It's summon Bahamut. You can also summon a Phoenix, but nobody does that. What is Gunbreakers? I'm willing to bet it's just Super Bowl-wide. Alright, Relentless Rush. Unleashes the fury of blades on nearby enemies, dealing damage over time with a potency of 4,000, reducing damage taken by 25% until the effect expires, which is 4 seconds. Okay then. I hope that's dealing I'm hoping that 4,000 is every 1 second. Activates terminal trigger upon effect duration. Afflicts the target with relentless shrapnel, reducing damage dealt by 4% while increasing damage taken by 4% per stack. Maximum of 5 stacks. Okay. I don't know how to So I assume you're just doing like bing, 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 bing. I'm assuming that's going to do 5 hits since it's going to deal the maximum stacks. So you're talking 20,000 damage from Relentless Rush. And then Terminal Trigger, here's the other one. And then deals another 12,000. So you're talking 32,000 damage with a 3-second stun. At least I assume that's how it works. Let's go test it real quick. Why not? We'll come back to that later. Anyway, while that's charging, because limit breaks in PvP just take time to charge up, we can keep talking while that's building. All right, so the shatter field got changed radically. The number of large ice has been increased from 1 to 2 that can be active at a time. So before, if you were playing objective, you were chasing after the large ice. But a lot of times you just ignore the large ice and just go in and keep going for kills, because each kill was worth 10 points. Large ice was worth 250. You'd probably just engage the large ice only if the enemy is really close to getting the cap and winning, or because there's there's our LB. It's ready already. So you're not waiting a long time. Let's take a look. 2. So yeah, that works pretty much exactly as we figured. It is a hit every second. So Gunbreaker does not shoot themselves in the head. That is just a PvP thing. But yeah, going from 1 large ice to 2 is crazy. Like, whoa. Okay, time before the first small ice activates has been increased from 5 to 420 seconds. Time for small ice. Time before. Wow, it's ready already. Time for small icebound domelets to reactivate has been increased from 5 to 420 seconds. Data word for destroying each large icebound or every large ice from 250 to 200. Large ice respawns every 60 seconds to 120 seconds. Small ice respawns from 60 seconds to 360 seconds. Large ice has had its HP cut in by a third or by a quarter. Same with ice. Knocking out players has their awards reduced by half. Suddenly this game's interesting. Suddenly the game of Shatter has been interesting, because before it wasn't. Before it was, if your large ice spawns first, you go to it. If it doesn't, pick off wandering players, start building up your battle high. And then pick off small ices when you can. If you can engage big ice capably, go do it. If can't, whatevs. The fact the small ice doesn't activate for God. Like, I'm sure that's not what it means, right? First small ice isn't going to activate and for God, halfway through the match? Like that's 7 minutes, right? 300 seconds is 5 minutes. So yeah, that's 7 minutes. Small ice isn't in the game until halfway through the match. That's crazy. So that means the early stage of the game is just chasing down big ice. Then small ice is just going to start spawning, but then it's going to take 4 minutes for each small ice to then respawn. After they're destroyed, a bunch are going to reactivate afterwards. I mean, freaking, there's going to be 15 small ices up at a time. That might be all of them, actually. That actually might be. I'm trying to think. There's like 4 on each of the 3 sides. So there's like 2 on each side of the bridge. There's 3 bridges, 2 sides. So that's 4 per bridge. That is all of them, because then there's 3 in the middle. Oh my God. So at the 7-minute mark, every small ice is going to light up. Whoa. Like, this took a radical change. Anyway, moving on. New items added, new recipes added, new fish added, new mounts added. Look at that reward from Manderville. New Chocobo barding. I don't know what this Chocobo barding. I'm not gonna lie. When I first looked at this on my phone waking up, this looks, I can't tell. Is this just the default? I don't know what barding this is. I really don't. New fashion accessory has been added. You get your backpack. Systems. Old Charlian has instances. Guess what? The new thing takes place in Charlian. New achievements. New subcommand. We know that our new emote is now called Lop Hop. Things added to the dictionary. Things added for yada yada yada. Some resolved issues. Do any of these actually an issue during the Alliance raid Thalia wherein dropsy status effect would not expire under certain circumstances. Whoa. Known issues. Grind to the 2 furnishing in 6.55, the imitation Magitech repair station. There are some graphic animations that did not display correctly. The UFO wherein sound effects do not play correctly during transit. So we already know the UFO we're getting at the end of Manderville is not going to work properly. So that's fun. All right. So that's the patch notes. All right. Not much to go on, right? Then, of course, we do get the new season. All players of bronze or higher, you fought well. I did not get bronze or higher. I've been doing all of my PvP leveling, my freaking battle pass clearing out in front lines. Now keep in mind, this is a season. All a season means is that PvP changes come. We already went over that in the patch notes. Some kind of big changes, to be perfectly honest. So your classes have changed a bit. That is all ended. All right. That's all over. All right. Your battle pass is still the same. There are no new rewards. I want to repeat that. There are no new rewards. No new rewards. Other than, you know, your rank reset. Go grind out Crystalline Conflict if you really want to for that one weapon. Those high rank PvP weapons do look kind of good. They're not for me though. I got better plans. Congested realms have changed. On the Japanese data center, you already read this. If you're in the JP center here, Garuda, Gungnir, Ramu, Shinryu, and Valefor are our preferred worlds. Aegis, Anima, Ashura, Belius, Carbuncle, Chocobo, Hades, Ixion, Kujata, Masamune, Pandemonium, Titan, Yojimbo, Zeramis are now all standard worlds. I don't know what they were before. I don't pay attention to the JP centers. Moving on. NA, these ones I actually do care about. Adamantoise, Mattias, Midgarsalmer, and Siren are now all congested worlds. Pretty sure Mattias is the only one on Crystal, which is my data center, that changed. Standard worlds: Cactar, Coral, Fairy, Gilgamesh, Hyperion, Genova, Leviathan, Sargantus, all are standard now. I want to say most of those are, I think a mix of them are, I think it's like 50-50 Aether, Data Center, and Primal. European, Louis Soir, and Phantom are now preferred worlds. Notice in NA, none of them are preferred worlds. All the preferred worlds stay the same, which is pretty much all of Dynamis. I feel kind of bad because they need, during one of these upcoming patches, to try and do something to encourage more people to go to Dynamis. Dynamis is such a dead world. Holy cow, it's such a dead world. There is no reason to go to Dynamis right now. None. Zip, zero, nada. And like it's hard to like just do regular duty finders there. It's sad. So I mean, they need to do something to incentivize more people to go to Dynamis. Maybe it's gotten better, but last time I was there, it was not. Louis Swan and Phantom are now preferred worlds. Omega, Spriggan, Twintania, and Zodiac are now standard worlds in Europe. That doesn't mean a whole lot to me. Now, for the last bits of juicy details. FF14 is 50% off on Steam. We do this, well, this is actually surprising, all right? It's now available 50% off on Steam. Let me tell you something. If you have the Steam version of FF14, that's fine. It's a little quirky. It's a little wonky if something goes wrong, but you'll manage. You'll find it's playable. I would not recommend getting the Steam version over other versions, to be perfectly honest. Things have improved with the FF14 Steam version, but the standalone client is still better. With that said, the standard client is still available for 50% off until tomorrow. Just basically think of it, today is basically the last day to get 50% off on FF14 if you're thinking about joining. All right, and that includes Complete Edition and Endwalker. Both are 50% off. If you're pondering getting it, today's the day. You can get it on Steam. It'll be available on Steam until the 22nd. It's 50% off on the way I personally would get it, which is on Square Enix's store and the Mog Station. There, it's 50% off. Pretty much today's the last day. This has been going on since the 3rd. Now, last thing. We do have a new seasonal event. That in the Maiden's Raspity. All right. We had this event before. This is a crossover event between FF14 and FF11. I actually used to have the footage for this, but I lost it. This took place, I don't know how long ago it originally came out, but I know we recently had a chance to redo this. I want to say last year. Maybe it was the year before. Probably the year before, since it's already coming back. All right. In fact, yeah, it's the same event that has been held 2015, 2017, 2020, and 2022. This gets you this glam set. It apparently existed in FF11. You could probably do some good stuff with this for like a Sam glam. I could see someone using like the gloves as part of a samurai glam. But that's just me. Anyway, that's gonna be available. You can go ahead and go to Limsa to start it. That will be starting on Monday, January 22nd. So that's going to be next Monday. Yep, next Monday. Next Monday that'll start. It'll go until February 5th. This one, unlike a lot of other seasonal events, if you miss out on this, you're going to have to wait 2 years. That's just all there is to it. They don't make these rewards available on the Mog Shop. I personally would just recommend if you got your sub active, just do it anyway. Even if you don't care about the rewards. Because if you worry, like, oh man, that minion's so boring. And then later on you see it in game after the event ended and you're like, oh, that's so cute. I wish I got it. You could have gotten it. You could have gotten it last freaking week and you didn't. You're just like, oh, it's just a minion. It annoys me every time. It literally took me 3 minutes of skipping text that not on an alt. I think it took me 30 minutes in game on stream to go do a lot of these seasonal events and actually reading and voice acting the dialogue myself. But then, you know, if you just don't care about that, click, done. It's like 3 minutes, not even. So that will be available, and that's pretty much all there is to talk about right now. Now, if you're wondering things like when is some of the lockouts going to occur? Here's what I think's going to happen, okay? I think that Savage lockout is going to be removed in 1 month, okay? This patch launched, we'll just say second Tuesday of the year. It's the first Tuesday land on the second. I think we're going to see February 13th is going to be when Savage Lockout is removed. And then I think March 12th or March 19th is going to be when Thalia's lockout is removed. What do I mean when I say lockout? In Savage, you can only get and roll for gear once per week in each of the Savage raids. Okay? You only get one book per run, and that's it for the week. You can only get, and whatever you win in rolls on that pull, on that chest, that's all you get for the week. You can't go back in and get more. If you show back in and you already rolled, it hinders everyone else's ability to get gear. All those lockouts will be removed next month. I almost guarantee you on it. That's what the historical trends have shown. Thalia's lockout being removed. This right now, Thalia, during all of the Alliance raid, you can only roll on one piece of gear. Once you get that one piece of gear, that 650 piece of gear. By the way, Savage is 660. Once you get that 650, that's it. That's it for you for the week. That lockout will be removed in 2 months based on historical trends. And at that time as well, you'll be able to turn in the Thalia coins to upgrade your 650 tome weapon to a 660 tome weapon. We've been able to do this in Savage since ever, but only towards the very end can you do it with Alliance raids. And this kind of brings up something I was going to bring up in a later as a later video essay anyway, and that is just the fact that the Alliance raid is supposed to be catch up, right? Even if you don't touch Savage, you don't touch any of the high-end content. This is actually one of the biggest flaws with FF14 gearing for non-high-end raiders. First off, getting a weapon's a pain. Because you gotta wait a month. Minimum. Maximum 7 weeks, if it's early on, to be able to spend your tomestones to get a weapon. If you just unlocked a job, you get your artifact weapon at the max level, but if you're at this point, you are way far behind with that weapon. And there's no other place to get a weapon unless you want to do extremes, which is high-end rating. And a lot of people are intimidated by high-end rating, which is fine. Then, okay. Then once you've finally done that, in the catch-up patch, the Alliance raid, you get the equivalent of tome gear, which you may be able to get a piece of tome gear, which in this case is 650, every 1 to 2 weeks based on the piece because of the tombstone cap that's in place. You can only get 450 tomestones every week. That's a cap. I don't think that cap, if that cap gets removed, it's going to be not until like the very, very end of Endwalker. I didn't see in patch notes when and if that tome cap ever gets removed. I don't think it's ever going to get removed. I think it might be so hardcore in the game, it's impossible to mess with that. But, you know, spaghetti code. Keep in mind, the Alliance gear is basically on par with that. You only get one piece of that per week. But you also get a coin. And that coin can be used to upgrade the tome gear from 650 to 660, which now makes that piece of Thalia gear you just got obsolete. Why is it even on a lockout then? If you're going ahead and getting 660 gear off your coin that you're getting from Thalia anyway. Oh, but the Thalia coin also requires you to go ahead and get a run of Euphrosyne and Agalia in too. You have to do the other 2 Alliance raids. Oh, boo-hoo. Getting those 2 in per week is nothing. Okay? Like, I don't get why the gear in Thalia is not 660 since we already have a lockout on it. It's silly that it's not. I'm just saying. But that's all I have to talk about on that. I want to talk more about the problems with gearing that I've seen, the problems I've seen with how this expansion's been handled, and kind of my thoughts in general about how Endwalker did. But that's for another day. For now, take care, rest well, and I hope you have a good day. If you want to see more, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Check out my other stuff, twitch.tv/EagleFalcon. If you're watching this on the release day, later today I'm going to be going live to tackle all of the new patch content. All of it. I think I can get it all done today since I'm trapped at home thanks to snow. Bye-bye!